I've been actually spending some time sitting on the couch recently, mainly to watch my wife play Animal Crossing. This showed a deficiency in our living room layout. It isn't that big, so we don't have a coffee table set up, and there is just one small nightstand that I made years ago that is on her end of the couch. This means that I didn't have any place to put my snacks, and there was no good place to put any if we were sharing. So I got to measuring, and sketching, and pulling some materials out of my stash at the shop. I decided on 1-inch square tubing because I have a lot of that on hand from previous projects and for when things like this pop up. I also chose to make a different style of corner joint than I have done in the past for two reasons. One, to not have to weld on small caps or use the plastic push-on caps that I have in order to cover the ends of the tubes. And two, to hopefully give a stronger joint with more axes of connection for the stresses that this table will undergo. To accomplish these goals, I did a notched end on the corners by cutting away 3 sides of the tube and leaving one side to cover the end of the adjacent tube. This was then all TIG welded together to create the leg assembly. I drew up and plasma cut some quick mounting brackets to both hang it from while powder coating and to mount the wooden top. For the wooden top, I grabbed a piece of edge-glued birch panel that I had left over from another project, and also just have a stack of that I buy when it's on sale. I cut it down to match the legs with using the table saw, using the legs as the fence guide so I didn't mess up any of the fractional measurements from however the legs came out. I then torched it to darken it, gave it some boiled linseed oil treatment, and then finished it off with some wipe-on polyurethane, as I'm not really planning on having coasters on it. The pets would make them disappear before I could use them anyway. Now I have a nice place off to the side to set my drink and snacks, or it can be positioned between us if we are sharing something, and it doesn't get in the way of the limited walkway space in the room. This was working so well that my wife requested I make more of them in the same style. This time slightly taller, slightly wider, and the legs going in the other directions to be used as kind of like TV trays. So I cut up the steel, prepped the ends in the same way, welded them all together, gave them the same powder-coated finish, but this time I used a oak top, which took the torch blackening much better and has a much more consistent finish. Finish them off the same way with the linseed oil and a little bit of polyurethane, and now the three of them together make the living room much more usable.